Sabbath is one of four spiritual disciplines connected with self-denial. Those are fasting, the Sabbath, tithing, and chastity. Sabbath keeping is the only spiritual discipline specifically mentioned in the Ten Commandments. Exodus 20:8 through 11 says this, "Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. On it you shall not do any work, you or your son or your daughter or your male servant or your female servant or your livestock or the sojourner who is within your gate. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea and all that is in them, and rested on the seventh day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy." Sabbath just means rest. It is pausing from our work to enjoy God's blessings. The Sabbath is kind of like a snow day. You know how when it snows, everybody stops and stays inside or goes out and has fun? When we stop working and enjoy life. God tells us to drop our worries on the Sabbath and enjoy what he gives us. The Sabbath should not be a legalistic time. It is a celebration of happiness and the joy of just being alive. Mark 2:23 through 28 says, "One Sabbath he was going through the grain fields, and as they made their way, his disciples began to pluck heads of grain. And the Pharisees were saying to him, 'Look, why are they doing what is not lawful on the Sabbath?' And he said to them, 'The Sabbath is made for man, not man for the Sabbath. So the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath.' And he said to them, 'The Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath.'" God made the Sabbath that we could enjoy ourselves. Sabbath involves basically three things. First of all, stop working. Number two, worship God. And number three, enjoy the day. Sabbath teaches us many important lessons. First of all, it teaches us that our purpose isn't to work for God like a slave, but to enjoy him as a son or daughter, to glorify him and enjoy him forever, as the Westminster Catechism says. The Sabbath reminds us that God is the Lord of our time, not us. And it is a time to worship. And it teaches us that worship is better and more necessary than eating, drinking, or working. It also teaches us a regular, steady rhythm of life, ordered by God, and that makes us productive. Sabbath helps us get more done, not less, by keeping us rested. Now, which day is the Sabbath day? Well, that's debated. Jews and some Christians keep it on the Saturday and say that's the Sabbath day, while most Christians observe Sunday, the first day of our week, as our Sabbath. The early church observed Sunday because many Christians were still going to the Jewish synagogues. Christians gathered on the first day so they could attend both church and synagogue. Whatever seems right to you is the one that you should keep. Romans 14:5 through 8 says this, "One person esteems one day as better than another, while another esteems all days alike. Each one should be fully convinced in his own mind. The one who observes the day observes it in honor of the Lord. The one who eats, eats in honor of the Lord, since he gives thanks to God, while the one who abstains, abstains in honor of the Lord, since he gives thanks to God. For none of us live to ourselves, and none of us die to ourselves." The main important thing about the Sabbath is not which day you have it on, but that it be a time of giving glory to God and honor to him by taking that day of rest. Now, the principle of Sabbath, I believe, is more important than which day you observe it. 1/7 of our time belongs to God. It is to be used in worship and rest. Now, whether you do it on Saturday or Sunday or some other day, this principle should be observed. 1 day in 7. The other question that comes up about the Sabbath is, what should we do on the Sabbath day? First of all, if we're involved in work of charity or necessity, that has to be done, even if it is the Sabbath day. So there are some people who can't observe the Sabbath as a day of rest. Policemen, ministers, essential personnel, workers, and nurses, doctors have to work for the good of us all. But if we fall into one of those categories, we should pick another day of the week to make that our Sabbath, to make our day of rest and worship. No one should work 7 days a week on the Sabbath. Now, if we are people who are working on the Sabbath because we think we need to make money, or if we think we have to because we're feeling so much tension and strife from what we're doing, then we should observe the Sabbath. We're not honoring God by working on the Sabbath and becoming all tense about it. We have to have some other day of rest. God's work can be and should be done on another day if possible. Which brings me to the people who break the Sabbath the most, and I'm talking here about pastors. Pastors are the worst Sabbath breakers because they use God's work as an excuse for working on Sunday. Doing God's work is no excuse for ignoring the Sabbath. God's work is better done when we have rest. Pastors who lead, or people who lead weekly worship, should observe another day of rest to keep God's command fully and to enjoy life. Now, how do we prepare for the Sabbath? Well, 6 days you shall labor, the commandment says. That means that we prepare our work ahead of time so that we don't have to work on the Sabbath day and we can enjoy the Sabbath. Do not be careless about your labors and try to catch up on Sunday. Fix meals, mow lawns, do homework on another of the 6 days that God has provided for you. Sabbath keeping is your choice, but it is also God's commandment. Sabbath keeping helps us to be healthy, happy, and holy.